This is ecoTEC's ecoTEC Roundup show from Aotearoa's first and only climate-positive certified renewable electricity provider. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we are the leading supplier of electricity to EVs in Aotearoa. Search today at ecotecity.co.nz. Welcome back to another roundup of news from the world of clean cars and green energy. Thanks for joining me. We've watched in the last decade as Chinese automakers have gone from being a bit of a joke in the EV space to being a force to be reckoned with. And this week we learned just how much of a force when Ford CEO Jim Farley told our good friend Robert Llewellyn over at the Fully Charged channel how much he's a fan of the Xiaomi XU7. While regular folks can't just import a car from China to the US, Ford, as an automaker, can import cars for testing and benchmarking processes, and thus Farley, as CEO of Ford, has been able to use a Xiaomi XU7 as a daily driver for the past 6 months. Admitting that he doesn't want to give it up at the end of the test period, Farley admitted that Chinese firms like Xiaomi, known for its phones rather than its cars, are a real wake-up call for the American auto industry, an existential threat that the industry should be taking very seriously. Volkswagen's newest brand, Scout Motors, officially took the covers of its first 2 models this week in Tennessee. The brand name, which evokes the original International Harvester brand Scout of off-roaders from 50 plus years ago, has some pretty big shoes to fill. Just unveiled is the Traveller SUV, which Scout says will tow up to £7,000 and offer £2,000 of cargo carrying capability, as also will the Terra pickup, which will tow £10,000 and feature a 5.5-foot bed. Onboard power will be standard, and both models will offer high performance and range of in excess of 350 miles, or 563 kilometres. A range-extended variant is also promised, and for those paying attention, yes, this is going to be another massive SUV that's focused on something other than energy efficiency. Pricing is expected to be under $60,000, but production isn't expected to begin until 2027. Electric two-wheel company Fuell Inc., whose fuel fluid bicycles we tested for ourselves earlier this year, has entered into Chapter 7 bankruptcy proceedings. The company, built upon the reputation of motorcycle legend Eric Buell, has promised a lot, including the longest-range electric bicycle in production and a high-performance all-electric motorcycle. Earlier this year, it began to become very slow to respond to both customer and press inquiries, and now we've learned communications are being handled by a lawyer charged with representing the company, with creditors given until December 26th this year to file claims against the company. No promises have been given about the status of pre-orders already placed, so watch this space. Ford has officially announced its refreshed Mustang Mach-E lineup for 2025, and for the coming year, some of those changes are pretty substantial. First, the price, with an entry-level Mustang Mach-E now available for $36,495 before incentives, with similar pricing in other markets. There's a bunch of new colours and wheels available for this year, and finally a heat pump has become standard across the range. There's also enhanced Blue Cruise 1.5 with automatic lane change, which the fine print suggests will be supported for at least 7 years from date of purchase, as well as some new interior changes. The most noticeable being Ford's decision to remove the rotary gear shifter from the centre console and put it on the steering column instead. I've been covering the electric vehicle industry now for nearly 20 years, and one of the things I love seeing is the massive growth in EV charging station availability. This week, the US Joint Office of Energy and Transportation confirmed that, thanks in part to federal funding, the US electric vehicle charging network has dramatically changed in the last few months. In August, it reported that it took 3 months to increase the number of charging stations in the US by 9,000 stalls to 192,000. This week, though, it reported that same increase in charging station installations, pushing the number of available total charging stations to more than 200,000, took just 7 weeks, demonstrating a nearly twice increase in speed of deployment. If this continues, we could see in excess of 220,000 public charging stations across the US by the end of the year. Mercedes-Benz has officially opened a brand new battery recycling plant in southern Germany that it claims will recycle enough materials to manufacture 50,000 new battery modules per year. The result of what the firm says is a, quote, double-digit million euro investment, end quote. The facility is the first of its kind in Europe and makes use of an integrated mechanical hydrometallurgical process that can take battery packs from the module level all the way through to the black mass at the other end. Importantly, the facility is far more energy efficient than the pyrometallurgy recycling method, which, as the name suggests, uses extremely high temperatures to break apart the various constituent elements in battery packs. The recycling facility is powered by a 350 kilowatt peak solar system on the factory's roof and, says Mercedes-Benz, is net carbon neutral. Just 1 week after we told you that Tesla's We Robot event had upset the director of iRobot for seemingly copying designs of vehicles and robots used in the film, it's in hot water again from the movie world. This time, however, it's not for allegedly copying the massive transport vehicles used to deploy US robotics' latest robots, the robots themselves, or the Audi-badged robotaxis used in iRobot. This time, it's for displaying AI-generated images on giant screens during the reveal event that bear a very striking resemblance to the world of Bladerunner and Bladerunner 2049. As per a court case filed against Tesla by the film's producers this week, Alcon Entertainment, Elon Musk had asked the company if he could use Blade Runner-inspired visualizations at the event, and the company said no. But using AI-generated images instead, Musk circumvented the denial. This has led Alcon Entertainment to call Musk's behaviour a bad faith and intentionally malicious gambit. Watch this space. We regularly hear about pushback from politicians surrounding EV incentives, and this week we saw a different set of statistics involving subsidies, ones for ICE vehicles instead. In a new study by Environmental Resources Management on behalf of Transport and Environment in Europe, the amount of money that EU countries have given to businesses in tax credits for company cars are tallied up. And it's shocking. It shows that across the EU, €42 billion of tax write-offs were provided to companies for the purchase of new fossil-fuelled company cars. What's more, company cars are much more common in Europe than in North America thanks to those generous tax codes, with 60% of all new cars sold officially last year classed as company cars. Italy, Germany and France offered the most in tax benefits for ICE company car purchases. Rivian's production facility in Normal, Illinois is, according to a new report from Bloomberg, home to more serious safety violations than in any other automaker in the US since the start of 2023. Like Tesla in its early days, Rivian is under significant pressure to ramp up production on its road towards profitability. But Bloomberg's list, collated from official OSHA reports and interviews with current and former plant workers, makes for hard reading, with amputated fingers, skull damage and much more listed. In the last 21 months, Rivian's been given initial citations for 16 serious OSHA violations, more than any other automaker. But Rivian has now issued a statement that it is continually improving its safety processes and noting that it's not received any serious citations this year. It also added it felt Bloomberg misrepresented facts. Earlier this month, after Tesla's official reveal of the robotaxi and robovan, aka Cybercab and Robovin, many hoped that Tesla's Cybercab would represent the long-awaited $25,000 EV from the brand. But during Tesla's earnings call this week, Tesla CEO Elon Musk confirmed that while Tesla will sell customers a $25,000 Cybercab, it won't be one you can drive yourself with manual controls. Answering questions from investors concerning private sales of the vehicle, Musk confirmed that he believed, quote, having a regular $25,000 model is pointless. It would be silly. It would be completely at odds with what we believe, end quote. This suggests that even if you purchased one, you'd be reliant on Tesla's infrastructure and autonomous vehicle tech to make use of it. I'm curious how long it will take tech-savvy coding folks to fix that particular restriction, eh? Before we get to the last two stories, I have a quick question. Are you in the market for a new EV? Because if you are, and you live in Aotearoa, you should totally check out our very own buyer's guide at ecoTEC.co.nz. It is packed with all the information you need to pick a car that's right for you and includes details about available vehicles, daily life with an EV, RUCs, and so much more. So follow the link below and start that journey today. It's been no secret that Toyota's plan of a hydrogen future has been a little tougher to execute on than it originally thought. Aside from problems with just getting enough fueling stations deployed to be practical, hydrogen fueling stations have proven a complete headache when it comes to reliability, not to mention the sheer costs associated with filling up when that card that Toyota gives you runs out. But Toyota has just unveiled a new answer to the problem of unreliable infrastructure: canisters of hydrogen you can take with you. Unveiled at the Japan Mobility Show BizWeek 2024, Toyota was heavily promoting a series of hydrogen fuel cell canisters that interface with everything from portable power stations to a Toyota Mirai. It even envisages a future where customers could rock up and swap out depleted canisters for fully charged ones? And if that sounds like battery swapping with an extra step, it really does, doesn't it? And finally, believe it or not, the New Yorker cartoon, "On the Internet, Nobody Knows You're a Dog," is now 31 years old, but the sentiment still stands. You never know just who you're interacting with online. Apparently, Fisker didn't know that meme because in 2022 it hired a remote IT employee who said they were from Arizona. The problem? They were actually an undercover operative from the DPRK, aka North Korea. According to court filings this week, Fisker was one of a number of tech-based companies that were infiltrated by North Korean spies, and in this case, the spy was aided by a US citizen who was approached by a North Korean agent on LinkedIn and persuaded to be a US face for an overseas IT company. Said IT company was, of course, a front for North Korean spies working half a world away. The claimed reason for the infiltration? According to the FBI, money laundering for the Kims. But hey, at least that particular avenue of money laundering is no longer open. And on that note, we are done for the day. Before I go, though, do make sure you've hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest in EV news from the channel. And of course, if you haven't switched yet, why not switch to Aotearoa's first and only climate-positive certified renewable electricity provider? It is super easy to make that switch, and you'll be helping the nation wean itself off dirty energy and onto clean green power that will keep the land beautiful for generations to come. I'll be back next week as usual, and in the meantime, do check out other videos on this channel, including those from the lovely Gavin Kiwi Evie Shoebridge. Some of the cars he's been driving of late have been great fun, and I cannot wait for him to share those videos with you. They are going to rock. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Have an amazing week. Ka kite. See you next time.